an amazing Tuesday. It is Tuesday, July 13th. And today, oh, you know what? I'm just going to tweet this out up here. Today, we are going to be talking about all the bank earnings. We're going to see which big ones are announcing today, what is going on. We saw big prints on regional banks yesterday. Regional banks. 62% of that float was traded in one trade. So we are definitely going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, hey, where are we in relation to that? And what can we potentially expect in going forward? So let me just grab this really quickly. A little copy and paste over here. I really loved it when I could just share it. I got to figure it out so that it's going to be easier for me in the future, but it's good for now. And I had a little technical difficulties today. My laptop, which is 6 years old, the Mac, ended up needing a new charger. But I figured that's not so bad, you know, just a new charger. Once every 6 years, not so bad, right? All right, let's get into the charts. We've got the watch list up again today. So I know we have some newer members that just signed up on my watch list. Here is the watch list for today. You guys can, I should make this bigger over here. You guys can try out the watch list. You can sign up at, I should put it right there too, cjanetrade.com and the watch list. And there's different, if you use welcome, you will save 10%, cjanetrade.com. You'll save 10% and you'll have access to this. I am working with someone to set up streaming so you guys can see me building my list live every morning, the levels to watch and everything. So this is what we have going on for today. We're heading out on the SPY, definitely breaking out to new all-time highs again. You got an iMac from 2007. Nice, Oscar. Is that a desktop or is it a laptop? Hello, Terry. Hello, Shar. Hi, CoinFox. It's slow, but it works. Mine's great. I have no issues with it. Love the speed. It's just that the charging port, you know, when you plug it in, that magnetic aspect, it just wasn't lighting up anymore. And so I knew pretty much, I'm just going to adjust this. There we go. I knew that it was the charger, and I went to the Apple store and they hooked me up. So it was pretty easy. All right, so SPY today, definitely moving to the upside, as well as the Qs. That's going to really be in relation to the tech stocks, right? Tech stocks are long and strong today. Something to remember is that when we look at the financials, XLF is the financials. We do have the banks reporting today. I'm going to show you a really quick way to see who is reporting free. So check it out. Let's go to FinViz. You can sign up and get a free account. Then you go to the screener right here. And Signal, we can do earnings before or earnings after. So who had earnings before the close today? We had Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and Pepsi. Organogram as well in the healthcare, that's the cannabis sector. So you can see actually most of the ones that reported today, maybe this is going to be the theme. We had 6 out of 8 today that are down on the day. Kind of interesting to see that. If we look at it, earnings after hours. So now you can see we've got a couple that are reporting after hours today. Nothing too big as far as in the, hey Asif, in the big name sector area right here. But this is a really cool way to see. Also, earningswhispers.com has that as well. But this is also another nice quick way to see, hey, which one is going to happen or which one happened already today. So we had FRC for financials. Actually, let's see if we can sort it by the healthcare sector. There we go. So we had 3 in the financial sector today. We had First Republic, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan. So if we check those out, so NASDAQ, again, 0% financial. Russell's 21%, Dow Jones is 15%, SPY is 13%. So we have the Qs up big time on the day. Well, when we look at our top holdings, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Facebook, yeah, they're surging higher today. But it's really just the tech stocks that really seem to be moving higher. we've got a lot of the bank stocks. XLF moving down today, down 1.25%. In fact, let's look at all of the banks. So I do have the ETF broken down here into the holdings. Absolutely love TradingView too. If you guys check it out, you can set up ETF lists so you can see what's going on. You can set them up in the breakdown of the order of percentage, and you can see, hey, look, Berkshire Hathaway is down. We've got JP Morgan down almost 4 points today after their earnings. It doesn't matter what the earnings are. When we look at the chart, they did not like the earnings, right? And you can see we have a 2.3 million print down there. So, ooh, surprise earnings, extra 58 cents, but we're down on the day. Why? Why are we down on the day? Bearish engulfing pretty much from yesterday, right? We're middle of the day. This could change. If we go up above, over here, this is a volume weighted anchor price from this high spike right here. So we are below that volume weighted anchor price from back in, I want to say that's March. Hold on. 18th of March. I'll scroll over a little bit more so you guys can see it even. So the pretty much almost that big volume spike, we are below that over here. That's going to be 155.66. As long as we stay below that, I'm going to be bearish on the name. That means that pretty much the average of the volume all the way back here is breaking down. Let's check out, let's put one from the high as well, from the most recent high. Let's see, highest volume one. This one has the highest volume there. So we are below the highest volume as well. Over here, how about let's adjust this and put it on this one. We're still below that. Obviously, we're going to be below over here as well. So right now, that average volume, we are pretty much below all of it. So I'm going to be bearish on JP Morgan. We did have some bigger volume. You can see right there a 2.3 million print down at the bottom. So are we going to come back down and test that down there at 151.61? Good potential. But right now, nice move to the downside, breaking down from 155.80, broke down, and now we're down at 154.10, right? We also had Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs was up on the day this morning, and we have dropped to the downside. So it gapped up, moved up, pulled back, and closed the gap back down pretty much. We came down and tested the moving averages. It does look, let's try a volume weighted anchor price up here from our high. And we're still above it right now. So as long as we stay up above there, it might be more bullish. But seeing that the banks, let's go to FRC as well to see how that's holding up today. So it gapped up and then dropped, right? Had a bit of a bounce. Let's look at it on the 45-minute chart. See what's going on over here. Let's make this 24 hours. 24 hour and 45 minute. So it dropped back down and we're starting to curl back up. So are we going to see a continuation move? Let's see, let's put this over here, 2 seconds. Let's check this. I want to make sure it's a 20, not 26. There we go. Okay. Because I have it set up for crypto as well with 26. All right, so we are below the 20 simple moving average here. Also, what I wanted to look at, XLF, I like to look at the weekly as well. What's going on with the weekly? So here, XLF is going to be the bank ETFs, right? We have a high up here, 50 simple moving average over here. That's at 37.17. We tagged that yesterday and sold off from there. 2 dark pool prints back over here. We are below those. If we break down below all of these, 36.40, careful. Careful with the banks, careful with the Russell, careful with the SPY, careful with Dow Jones, because they do play a part in those indexes, right? Hello, Salvatore. How are you? And if you guys like the live stream, please hit that like button. It costs nothing, but it helps the YouTube algorithm allow me to help more people. I'll try to stretch this and make it bigger for us too. All right, so XLF, definitely watching the banks. Let's see, ITA or IAT? I forget. No, ITA is going to be International Air Defense. That's not the one. Let's look at IAT. Well, we are pretty much taking out everything from yesterday, right? And this was about 62% of the overall holdings of the ETF in one trade. Is that looking really positive. We're pretty much almost below. Well, where is that? Okay, so this came in up here. What do you guys think? What do you think? 62% of the ETF up above us. One trade. What do you think? Anybody? Put it in the chat. Hello, everything's monetizable. I went out and bought my coffee pods today, so I am more energized. Excited. I got some new iced coffee as well. All right, so still eyes are on the banks. I'm definitely watching this in relation to everything going on with the new banking system that's coming out, the central bank digital currencies, XRP. All of that is combining with the fact that when we look at, let's look at this one on a weekly chart. So this is going to be regional banks right here. And when we're going to split this, XLF looks like it's about to go bearish. Yeah, let's make this one weekly as well. And we're going to make this one XLF on a weekly chart. So XLF on a weekly chart, if the big guys of the market bring it down below 36.20, even below this trend line right here. Where did I draw that trend line from? Oh, shorter term on the daily. That if we drop below here, $36, I would say it's not looking good. We're probably going down to 30, if not further down to like 28 down here. We had this super big volume on the week right here. So if we break below 35.20, no bueno right there. It's not looking good at all. Let's also look at JP Morgan. Right? So if we look at the second one, yeah, that's not looking so strong, right? On the weekly chart, we've broken down. You're quitting coffee for a while just to see if it affects my high blood pressure. I thought it was going to suck, but it's not so bad. Oh, nice, Oscar. Are you replacing it with tea? Water is good. Do you guys see on the weekly chart maybe a head and shoulders here on JP Morgan? Do you see that? If we go down here, this is our neckline at 147.50 with a left shoulder right here. Look at that high volume, 156 all the way up. So 147.50 up to, we'll call it 166.50. So that would be $19, right? So if we go down from here and we drop down $19, I'm gonna have to measure that. $19. We're looking at about 130, right? 130-ish for JP Morgan. That could be interesting, right? Yeah. Let's see if we see it on Berkshire Hathaway. How many? No, not so much on Berkshire Hathaway. How about Bank of America? A little bit, maybe. Citigroup. This is definitely dropping a bit there. Let's look at Morgan Stanley. Nope, long and strong there. How about Goldman Sachs? Nope, more on JP Morgan, huh? Wells Fargo came up and is rejecting this moving average up there on the weekly. But BlackRock, all-time highs. SPGI, that one's not looking so pretty. Nice bearish engulfing on the weekly chart. American Express, topping out. CME Group, maybe a little disposition up here. Oh, thank you, John. Have a great one. Thanks for joining us. Have a good afternoon. CB, that looks like a bit of a descending triangle, maybe. Descending wedge. MMC, that's not looking longer. Remember that the Fed is printing all this money, and where are they putting it? Likely in the stock market to grow at exponential rate. This one looks like a wonky head and shoulders, definitely already moving to the downside, not looking strong there. On TFC, oh, this is going to be the inverse. Let's look at, so IAT, I should set up one of the holdings of IAT. I'm going to do that too. Even IAT looks like a bit of a head and shoulders for the regional banks. So if it comes down and it drops below 55 here, 54.80, I'm going to put an alert, 54.80, I think we're going to really see the banks moving down. Thank you, Asif. I appreciate that. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, if you like the live stream. All right. If you want to donate a coffee for my time and energy and effort, there is a link down below to donate a coffee, or buy me a coffee, I should say. So, all right, let's head on over here. Let's put it back to dual, and let's put it back to 24-hour on the left and 45 on the right. All right, let's go through the list, right? So we had Nokia that was a potential long today. Or is it? Yes, beautiful. And broke out up above 588. This one in the past has had a nice surge. So I'd watch to see if we're really able to break above 620. I think it's pretty much clear skies up to that 9 area. I would keep that on watch. So this could make a nice 90% gains right there. SOGO as well today. SOGO has 34 million. And it's just sort of traded sideways today. Not a big movement there. So that was sort of a scratch. No opportunity on that one. That's okay. We had other great ones, right? So we had nice potential trade on Goldman Sachs. It pulled back to the 50 simple moving average on the 45-minute chart. So we did one of these. It pulled back, bounced off of this moving average, rejected this moving average. Are we coming back down for another test? And then a little bit of a coil for a bigger move? There's potential there for that. So we'll have to see where we end up on the 24-hour chart. For the daily, are we going to be below the moving averages over here, or are we going to end up bouncing off of the faster moving average? All right, BABA right here. So BABA had big rejection over here, was testing the 200 level, then it was coming up to 205. Hey, Shar, yep, we'll check out X. And then now it had a bit of a retest up here. We are back above the moving averages. So we have this big gap down to the downside here. So it had that potential to fill it back to the downside, but we are up again testing this moving average. So this could drop down further, down below. I'm just gonna move this over here. Hee, look, it's me. Up there, is that better, you guys? You think? Yeah, I think that's better. All right, and it might reject up here. It went up to about 212.50. Yeah, just over that, to 212.81. And now it could reject and fill that gap down. It has been in the downward trend for quite a while. We did have a bit of higher volume. Whoops, wrong screen. We did have a bit of higher volume right here, which we are up above. So maybe it's going to be one of these, comes down, bounces up, and then drops down to the downside. Ba ba boom. Yeah, nice one, Salvatore. We had SPCE. Great news, Branson went up into space, and guess what? The stock tanked. It was doing really well. Then we broke down from this wedge right here. If we look at this, the measurement right here, 38 to 58. Potential $20 drop from 43 down here to 23. Move this up here. 23 right there. I would look at that as a potential target. If it continues to the downside, it's sort of going sideways today. Maybe it will bounce back up to the moving averages and then roll back down the hill. JP Morgan, we did talk about this one already, and it had a nice fail. Even though there was a surprise 58 cents on earnings, just goes to show that earnings does not matter, right? You can have amazing earnings and it ends up dropping to the downside. It's all about where the really big money wants to take it, right? MDIA today, this one is low float with 1.8 million. So when I do my list in the morning, you can see low float. Hey, pay attention. This is a low float. It can be extreme. It had extreme movement yesterday from 4 to 18. Well, guess what? This is the downside of that extreme. You throw a rock in the air, it can only go up for so long before it comes down. And when I see these charts, I think of a finger in the middle of your hand, right? 1, 2, big middle finger, and then smaller, smaller. So it tends to be that for those low float people that are newer to trading, they get in, they buy it up here, they hold on to it, and then it just decays away. And it's that momentum, and you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of that trade. But this had a very nice move. Look, that 13 down to 9, $4, almost 50% move to the downside. from right there today. So if you were able to find shares to short, a nice short opportunity. Boeing continuing down to the downside, pulling down the Dow Jones today. This is one of their top stocks of the 30. Oh, thank you, CoinFox. I appreciate that. So if we look at this here, this is broken down 232.75, and it had a nice drop down to the downside down here. Nice $3 move to the downside. So a lot of these names, you know, you're going to want to wait for these to be broken, right? You don't want to anticipate it and go too fast. If you guys have not read Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, read it. Talks about the resistance and that higher probability trade. That's what trading's about, waiting for those good setups. If you guys also want to learn more, if you're brand new to trading and you want to learn more, come on over to the dark pools, to the training pit. We'll definitely help you get off on the right foot. A lot of this stuff, you know, I've been studying the market intensely. Well, started first back in 2000, but really studying it intensely over the past 6 years with a complete passion. And now it's like I just eat, breathe, and sleep the market. In fact, sometimes I apparently call out numbers in my sleep or watch out for the silver bears. I have been known to say funny things, including the market, because it's always on my brain. So, you know, it's a passion, and that's why I love sharing with you guys. All right, ASO was another one to have a potential short today, and it did provide a little opportunity right here. Big move, right? Let's actually see. Did it trade there, or is that just a little wick? No, it actually traded all the way down. So it traded down there at 38.38. Then it bounced up here and pulled back down. I was going to show you guys something. I was going to pull it up. Then I forgot what it is. I'll have to think of it. I'll have to think of it for you. But so that's it. So let's check out the ones. All right, let's look at everything's monetizable. We have ATHA. Athria Pharma. All right, so here we go. I see right off the bat that this is just pretty much trading like this until it breaks one way or the other. I would set alerts so that I would know if it was breaking out to the upside. It looks like potential, all those moving averages have sort of come together, but we would really need it to have volume and move to the upside. How much is it right here? 32 million right there. Did I show you yesterday the hack on Guess jeans? You received a late birthday gift last week from my mother, the Wyckoff methodology in depth. So thanks, Mama Mia. Ah, very nice. What is it? I forgot anniversary. Buon anniversario, right? I forgot it in Italian. Capodanno is New Year. All right, let's look at Zela. Everything's monetizable. So this one, nice, came up, lower float it looks like as well, right? 23 million, came up, hit the 150 simple moving average. You can see here, hit it, sold off, hit it, sold off. I would look for this to continue back down. Buon cumpleaños. Merci. Grazie. So I would watch actually for this to pull back down to another 20% probably to the downside. You can see every time it spiked up, it pulled back down, regained some steam, shot up, pulled back down, regained some steam, shot up, maybe pull back down, but I would wait, right? I wouldn't go in shorting this right off the bat. Potentially, when I like to trade lower floats to the downside, I prefer puts because it's less risk, right? You hear about Joe Campbell with XBio when that went parabolic against him and he had to open up a GoFundMe page, or that was Tilray, I think. Anyway, be extra cautious shorting the low floats. You can make great money, but they can also really burn you when it goes against you, and you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of that trade. Imagine if you'd shorted it over here at 450 thinking for sure that this is going down, and then it goes up 20%, and then you're in the red 20% on a trade. So be extra careful with that. Let me see who's at the door. Just got a doorbell ring, so Probably someone dropping off a package. Let's see. No worries. All right. So Zayla, let's look at LHDX today. You guys brought this up yesterday too. Oh, there's a problem with the doorbell. Maybe it was hacked. All the hacking that's going on. So here were the levels yesterday that I mapped out for you guys. And it looks like it's definitely coming back down, right? We looked at that. Looks like it's definitely coming back down from there and came back down here to this moving average down to 650. So maybe it's going to regain some strength, but look, here's that crazy high volume and then it dropped down to the downside. All right, we already looked at XLF, Salvatore. Let's look at X today. Is X retracing from yesterday? Yes, it is. Hit the 50 simple moving average, is dropping back down. So, let's see. Yeah. All right. $23. I would watch to see $23. Is it going to test 24 again for support? So it was trading in here, went up, pulled back down, traded, oh, came down, tested this moving average, and then shot up here. Oh, nice, Oscar. Yeah, it's just the chart. That's technicals. It's not emotional. It's nothing personal. It's 100% technicals. And that's what trading, you want it to be non-emotional, non-personal. Hey, what's the chart telling you? Does this look like it's super bullish today? Not to me, right? It has that potential. It has crossed up and moved up here, but this could potentially drop back down 2450. You know, if we have a close below 2450, I would watch for 24, regain of steam, and then move to the upside. All right, let's see, GSAT. So GSAT over on the 24-hour chart over here. Looks like it's just continuing to the downside a bit. Right there, right? Rejected here once, twice, third time is the charm. Here's our 20 simple moving average. So a bit of a wedge right there with that 20 simple moving average. If it drops below 164, I would watch for a further drop down here to 145, 140 area. Then maybe all the way back down here. You can see all these selling wicks, right? Selling, 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 selling. All right. Now, KC. All right, we'll do KC. So KC is moving to the upside, right? If we draw a flatter trend line right there, this could reject right here at roughly 3150 right there. It could definitely reject roughly in that area, but it might continue up. You know, I would have to wait and see. If this is long and strong and closes up above here, there's a chance. I would really like it more up above 32. Round number, above the 15 EMA, above this candlestick over here. Then it would give me confidence that this really has a lot of buying power. But what do you guys see about the volume? What do you see about the volume on this big up candlestick? Anyone? What was I talking about with AMC? We have volume dropping, prices going up. Are they both the same? So it's going up with really low volume. That could really drop down quickly. Yeah, could drop down quickly. So you want to pay attention to volume. You want to see, you don't necessarily always need volume, but that volume is pretty much the confirmation that the move is going to continue because people are interested. Yeah, people are interested and keep going. They like it. They're ready to see it move to the upside. Let's look at the SPY. Actually, I was looking at, yeah, here's the SPY. Same thing. We're hitting all-time highs. Are there a lot of people interested in buying it up here? Doesn't look like it to me. How about IWM? Yeah, not as much. Yeah, you're running out of buyers. Exactly. There's only so many people that are going to be interested in buying at that rate. Let's look at Dow Jones too. Right? Over here. And I even like to pull it back even further. What's going on that weekly? Let's look at the SPY on the weekly. Right? Nice. It's been riding these moving averages up, everything like that. But slowly but surely, we've seen pretty steadily since the beginning of March, the volume has slowly been sort of dropping off. Big volume. Back here, hey, we had a breakout, or we hit a trend line, it sold off a little bit, higher volume, higher highs. You notice what's happening with all this high volume is we're starting to see like an extreme on the price. High volume, extreme on the price. High volume, extreme on the price. High volume, extreme on the price. Let's go to this one. High volume. Zoom in on it a little bit more. Not really too much of an extreme on the price right there. Let's readjust this here. Yeah, that was the low. It came back and it tested this trend line. I've got some volume weighted anchor prices on here, so it gets a little busy because I also have it for the daily drawings. So here, yeah, here we go. We had an extreme on the price, higher volume. Extreme on the price, higher volume. A bit higher volume, but it's dropping, right? It's dropping from here. How about, we didn't do the Qs. Qs, it's not so much the extremes. Here's the lowest low, highest volume, newer low, high volume. Doji, a bit of an indecision, but high volume indecision, and then a bullish doji sandwich to the upside on the week. So what's going on with this week, right? We're starting to reach RSI on our weekly. Hey, where were we back here at 72? What's your view on the chart? This is a weekly chart right here. Hold on. All right. Tried not to sneeze in your ears. What's my view on the chart? Do you mean with the like the Qs right now? Because the Qs are not involved with banks, it feels like there's money rotation going into the Qs, personally. When we look at XLF, thank you, Salvatore. When we look at XLF, hey, high volume, and we hit the 20 simple moving average right here. Thank you, guys. We hit that 20 simple moving average here. So if we hit this 20 again, and we break down below it, then whoever was buying here is probably likely done and might have flipped their position. They might have sold even up here. It's a weekly candle, right? So when we look at our extremes, did we have any super high extremes back here when it bottomed off? No, it was more as that move happened. And then right here, it was an extreme and they hit the moving averages. So if we look at that resistance point here, when it dropped below, that's when the volume came in. When it dropped below these averages, there's our 50 simple moving average on the weekly. Here it went above the 20, some big volume came in, and then we dropped back down below it, bounced off of the 20, bounced off of it again. This is a 335 simple, this red solid line, which I've been playing around with. So we might see it drop all the way back down there if we break down out of this sort of wedge that we've got going on right here. It's a little bit of a wedge more than a channel. So watching that to see, and we're just sort of hanging out. We've had a lot of dark pool prints lately. So watching to see where we go this week, right? Big selling wick right here. I'm just going to get rid of this chart, candle, whatever. So selling, a little bit of selling, a little bit of selling. Hey, we're down below the moving averages. Hey, bigger selling so far. We're only second day of the week, but we have bank earnings this week. So where we close from here, what happens to the bank earnings is probably going to dictate what we see a lot with the indexes. Where is the confidence? Because we've seen crazy prints, crazy prints. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I think we covered everything. AMC. We didn't cover CCIV and AMC. So let's look at AMC, right? AMC weekly. Do you guys think that looks like it's awesome? You want to buy it? I personally see if we go below the low right here of 38.76, which we came somewhat close, 50 cents away today, that it would likely come down here to 36 and then on down to 34, and then down to 32. In my opinion, I'm still looking at, this is probably going down to 25. That's going to be our 20 simple moving average on the weekly chart. And when the momentum starts to sell off, stops start to be hit, bigger moves potentially to the downside. As much as the apes want this to go up, right? Where's our volume on it? Do you guys see that volume? It's just sort of going bye-bye. There's other opportunities. Maybe I'll trade something else. I'll get out of this one and move on to something else. So what is your most often used chart time frame? David, you know what? Usually how I have it set up. Nice, Terry. I thought you bought puts, didn't you? Usually what I will use is going to be a 24 and a 15 or a 45. But I usually have the 24-hour chart as opposed to a daily, and then the 15 or 45-minute chart. So right now you can see, hey, remember that those trend lines are telling you, moving averages will tend to tell you the trend. The trend on this 45-minute chart is not looking really bullish. It looks like the momentum has changed direction. All right, and CCIV for CoinFox. Last one, or did I already do CCIV? I don't think I did. So CCIV, you wanted to get in, thinking we can get to 32 area in maybe a week. Let's look at it on a bigger picture here. So let's move this over here, right? And let's see. We have a little bit of an ascending wedge, so I think it might test up at 30 and then come back down again. But I personally, if I were to get into this, I would use 25 as my exit point. CoinFox. Otherwise, it could just see how it's gone up here, down here, up here, down here, up here, down here. It's slowly coiling, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of contact. So it could break out. It is an ascending wedge. They tend to break down about 65% of the time. So I would be cautious of that. And I'd like to see it close. We're just got the cross to the upside today, but it's a bit red at the moment. And it's in the financials. I'm not really liking financials, personally. So I would keep that in mind. Does look like some of the other finance stocks. CCIV, is this lower float? No, 206 million. So it's been slow. When we look at it on the weekly, it looks like a rounded bottom right here. So if it can break, I would measure the depth from here to here, $12. And if it were to break up above 29, then my target would be up here at $41.50, $41. So if it were to pick up that volume, I like it on the weekly chart, but it needs to go ahead and close above this line right over here, 29, and move up above 29, then I would look for $41. So I hope that helps you. Otherwise, it's still just sort of creating that formation of a cup, and it might end up creating a handle as well. So I'd be prepared ahead of time on that one. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Love each and every one of you. Each one of you participating helps to make the live stream what it is, so I appreciate that. Again, these are my handles on social media. If you guys hear from an airplane Jane and it's not one of these, it is not me, so please be aware of that. I will never solicit people for money to trade with their money. I know that some people have been burned by scammers using my face and my pictures because I am out there. I will not do that to you. All right, guys, so have an amazing day. Carpe profit, seize those profits one trade at a time, and I will see you all tomorrow, roughly 12:15. Have a great day. Bye.